We are here with Dina Rose. You call yourself a food sociologist.
That's right, because I'm a sociologist and I'm just fascinated with how parents teach their kids about food.
Yeah, it's tricky, it's tough. We're going to get into it. Now tell us about the book that you're writing.
I'm writing a book called It's Not About Nutrition, The Art and Science of Teaching Kids to Eat Right. And the basic idea is that people who can successfully shape their kids' behavior around food successfully get them to eat whatever it is they want, including vegetables.
Yeah, it's tough. I got to tell you, last night I was at my parents', I have a 3-year-old, and there was peas. And I said, if you eat this whole bowl of peas, I'll give you some M&Ms after.
That's right.
And that's not good to bribe them, right?
Well, bribing goes a short way to get them to eat some more vegetables, but in the long run, it's not going to help out too much.
All right, so let's start out with the first tip that you have here. Incorporate variety into your child's diet.
That's right. You want to get as much variety into your children's diet as possible, and you can do it using the foods that they already eat.
Okay.
You don't have to go to the supermarket and find some fancy new food.
So let's talk about the example you have here.
Okay, the idea is to look for places where you give kids the same things over and over again, and breakfast is a great place because we tend to give them the same cereals or 1 or 2 cereals every morning, especially on a busy day. But you can bring all sorts of foods into breakfast, like peanut butter toast or yogurt and strawberries, or even something that's not traditionally associated with breakfast, like hummus and carrots or leftovers. And the point is that when you increase this kind of variety, you're increasing the taste, the texture, the foods that your kids are getting used to eating, what they look like, what they smell like, and that goes a long way to laying a foundation for eating vegetables.
So it's better to change it up a little bit. You may have a better chance of having them eat it if it's not the same every day, because they might think it's like something new or exciting.
Well, it doesn't seem like breakfast is going to be related to vegetables,
right.
But the more different the food is that you can give your kids, the more likely they'll take the flavor and the texture of vegetables later in the day.
Okay.
So all the foods are related to each other.
All right. Now, what's the difference here between these two cereals? The sugar, right?
Well, it's the sugar, but from a nutrition perspective, you might be interested in the sugar. But I'm interested in the habits that your kids are eating, forming. And so if you give your kids the sweeter product, like the Honey Nut Cheerios or the chocolate milk, you're getting their taste associated with sweeter flavor.
Right.
So every chocolate milk teaches your kids to like chocolate, not to like milk, and it makes every regular milk a harder sell. And I don't know too many vegetables that taste as sweet as these products.
No, definitely not. Okay.
That's right.
So how about, giving your kids vegetables at every meal?
Yeah, I tell parents that they should strive to give their kids fruits and vegetables at every meal and every snack. You're not going to be able to accomplish that, but the reason to do it is that it's going to expose them to the taste, the texture, the appearance. They're going to get them more accustomed to eating vegetables.
Right.
And really the best thing about it is that if they eat 1 or 2 bites of vegetables all through the day, you'll get a net gain than if you just give them vegetables at dinner.
Okay, so try and do it at every meal so you have a better chance of getting at least a little bit of nutrition into them each time.
Yes, and it's mostly about getting them accustomed to what these foods are like to eat.
Okay, now what's the difference between these peas right here?
Okay,
this is like what most kids would, this is about as many as my daughter would eat. She would never eat this many.
That's right, but most people are going to put the bigger portion on their kid's plate with the hope that they'll eat half of it or a third of it and then ask them to eat 2 more bites. But that creates a stressful dynamic between you and your child. So take what you think they're going to eat, put a little bit less on the plate, and then when they eat it, it will be so great, everyone will celebrate. It'll change the dynamic in the
Yeah, that's a good idea, because we tend to put more on hoping that they're going to eat more, but just put a little on and then maybe they'll in seconds.
A lot of kids will eat more if you give them less, and even if it doesn't, it changes the dynamic, which makes them more open to the idea of eating vegetables in the long run.
All right, now you're going to be doing a seminar in Old Saybrook talking all about these tips. Tell us when it is and where it's happening.
That's right, in Old Saybrook at Stay and Play on Thursday evening at 7:30. We're going to be talking about how to get your kids to eat new foods and overcome resistance to new foods.
Okay, so if you're having trouble with your picky eaters, it may be worth it to check it out.
Absolutely.
In Old Saybrook. All right, thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure.
Scott, we'll send it back over to you.
I know my mother would make a meatloaf and turn it into a race car. If you're out there and you're struggling, turn it into a shape of something. Like carrots in the shape of a doll, they'll eat it right up. Patricia West. It works for you. We say whatever works is right. I'm joined by Patricia West.